to us, not this August, but the August before. This little girl's name is Jaden. Jaden is my princess. We have a connection. It doesn't matter whether we are plowing or whether we are cutting down trees or hiking through mud. Jaden's always wearing her sparkly princess shoes and her little princess clothes. Everything has to match. She and her three sisters and I and my wife went into the mountains, 10,500 feet, camping with these beautiful children. Oh, they had a marvelous time. They loved the campfire. Stick little sticks into the campfire until they start on fire, and then wave them in the air until it's just a red glowing thing, and then poke your sister with that, and then stick it back in, wave it in the air, until finally they couldn't keep their eyes open anymore. And so we tucked them into their sleeping bags. Popped up in the morning when the sun rose. Can we have a fire again? All the wood is gone, and so we went hunting for wood. Little Jaden, I did not want little Jaden to get hurt. And so as we crossed this little logging road that was near our campsite, I said to Jaden, see this stick? It was about the size of this. I said, take this to your grandmother. And she took it. She was so proud. I can still see her dragging it across the road. And when she was almost to the campsite, we turned to get the bigger stuff that would hurt her. That was the last we saw of Jaden. Evidently what happened was Jaden got almost to her grandmother, and then she decided, you know, I would rather be with my grandfather. And so she turned around and started to find us and wandered into the wilderness at 10,500 feet. She was gone for 3.5 hours. We were out of our minds. Let me tell you what happens. In the first hour or so, you think, maybe on the next breath of wind I will hear her voice. As you run as fast and far as you can run and call her name in every direction you can possibly go. You think, maybe I'll see her now, standing by this tree. Maybe she'll be where this road runs out. Maybe she's, oh, I hope she's not down by the river. But after about 2.5 hours, you begin to brace yourself for the very worst. They had a marvelous rescue team that came because we found a forest ranger, and he called them, and they were there just so quickly. They lined up a mile above the campsite to search downhill, because children do not go uphill. They go the easy route, downhill. In the meantime, I had searched the river, and thanking God that she was not there. And then I had to search the swamp. There's just this small swampy area filled with potholes and brush that fights your every move. And I prayed, don't let her be in here. Don't let her be in here. And I was making my way through that swampy area when I stumbled and I fell in a small pool of water, maybe 1.5 feet deep. I had run for 3 hours. I had called for 3 hours. I could not get up. I could not move. My strength was gone. My voice was gone. And on my hands and knees, I prayed to God that day, dear God, please, God, take my career. You can have it. Take my savings. Take it. God, take my house. Take my plane. All of the things that I so cherish. God, take them. And finally, the final thing I said from my knees to myself, because my voice would not carry anything, was, God, take my life. Take me. But please bring this baby back. I didn't know it, but at about that moment, a teacher, they were going up into the mountains to hike, and they came across a beautiful little blonde girl sitting on a rock where the roads run out and only wilderness begins. And the teacher said, this can't be right. That's why she's a teacher. And she walked up to my little Jaden and she said, honey, are you okay? And she said, Jaden said to her, I cannot talk to you. And the teacher said, I am not a stranger. I am a teacher. And she said, Jaden said, well, okay then. My grandpa is lost. I knew nothing about this. I finally was able to regain my feet and stumble back into camp. And as I stumbled into our little campsite, the radio on the forestry guy's belt came to life with these words: "We have found Jaden. She is alive and well." And I collapsed again. What a great night. What a wonderful thing. I remember seeing her little blonde hair flying in the wind as they brought her back on an ATV. I remember the reunion, and I particularly remember because this wonderful search and rescue team sent me a picture of it. This is the picture of our reunion. By the way, JJ had walked 2.5 miles straight up the mountain. She was 1.5 miles beyond where they were lined up to search downhill for her. I got weird kids. She came back and I grabbed her hands. This was a moment of change in my life. I said to her, "You are a bad, bad girl." Do you believe that? Does anybody in here believe that? How about this? How many times have I told you? Not even close. How about this? Wait until your evil grandmother gets her hands on you. No, I will tell you what I said to her. I know what I said to her. I could only whisper it. But I said, "I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you." It's the only words that would come out of my mouth. And suddenly it hit me. That's how God feels about me. That's how he feels when a child finally comes to him after being lost. That's how he feels when someone is living the dead life of a zombie when they should know better and suddenly decide to live fully alive. Think of God as this person who doesn't enjoy laughter and fun, and we walk around sometimes acting like, who would want to be a follower of Jesus? And instead, he loves us. He loves us. And that changed me, except for one thing. I had another question that I struggled with for almost a year. This was the question: what if? Would I be here tonight if it had been a different outcome? After the first show, I had a man show me a picture of a son that he lost. Would I be here? And I ran that through my head, and it tumbled around in my brain, and I thought about it, and I asked God about it. And last August, I went up to that area to hunt again, and I came across this site. I came around a corner, and I lost it again. This is the ribbon they tied on the tree, where they asked me to show where we had last seen Jaden. And it was like all of what I had thought about came to a conclusion. If Jaden had not come back to me, the only hope that I would have, the only hope that I would have to go on, my only faith, the only thing that would make me want to continue is a faith that knows that God loved this little girl more than I do. And that she was with him. My hope for my grandchildren is that someday when the roles have been reversed and I'm the one who has wings, and I hear their little voices at the gate, that it is I who will fly to them and gather them to myself and say, "Welcome home, little ones." That's our hope. It was the hope of the man who showed me his son. It was the hope of people I've met through the years as I've talked about this issue, who have had tragedy like you cannot believe, who said to me, if we'd have thought beforehand about this, we couldn't handle it. But when the time came, God gave us hope to live fully alive. Most of those people today have dedicated their lives to helping other people going through those situations.